The conch shell horn sounds before the sun rises. You are already awake. Your heart is already pounding. Somewhere beyond the tree line, drums are answering the horn. You are a warrior of a Maya city-state, and today your king has called for war. Your home is not a jungle village lost to time. It is a kingdom of stone temples, plazas, and tens of thousands of people. Cities like Tikal and Calakmul rose over 60 meters into the sky, taller than most buildings in the world at that time. And for centuries, these two cities were locked in a rivalry as intense as any in ancient history. Today, you may be marching for one of them. You rise from a woven mat on a raised stone platform inside your home. The air is thick and warm, heavy with the smell of copal incense from last night's offering. Your wife is already awake, grinding maize on a stone metati, the same motion her mother taught her, the same motion mothers across the Maya world have repeated for 2,000 years. She hands you a bowl of atold, a warm drink made from ground maize, and you drink it fast. There is no time for a real meal. War does not wait for breakfast. You step outside. The sky is still a deep, bruised purple. Your city's central plaza stretches out below the platform where you live, its plastered stone floor painted red with cinnabar and hematite, glowing faintly even in the dim light. This is not a rough village square. It is one of the most engineered urban spaces on Earth at this point in history, connected to outlying settlements by raised white roads called Sak-Biob, meaning white ways. Some stretch for many kilometers, built without metal tools, without wheels, without draft animals. You have walked these roads your entire life. Today you will walk one to war. Your commander waits near the ball court, already dressed. He wears a headdress of quetzal and macaw feathers, a jaguar pelt draped across his shoulders, and a wooden collar carved with the glyph of your patron god. You do not have his rank, so your armor is simpler. You pull on a thick quilted cotton vest, soaked beforehand in salt water and left to dry until it hardens almost like light wood. Archaeologists studying depictions at sites like Bonampak, in what is now the Mexican state of Chiapas, have found that this cotton armor could stop an obsidian blade from cutting deep. It will not stop everything, but it might save your life today. You reach for your weapons. A wooden club edged with rows of razor-sharp obsidian blades, black volcanic glass napped so fine it can cut cleaner than steel. A spear thrower called an atlatl that lets you hurl a dart with far more force and distance than your arm alone could manage. And a round shield woven from tightly bound reeds, painted with the symbol of your city. None of this is decoration. Every piece has killed before, and every piece might kill again today. Is this how you imagined war would begin? Not with chaos, but with ritual. Before your unit marches, a priest burns copal resin and reads the smoke, checking the position of the stars. Maya warfare was not random. Rulers and priests studied the sky, especially the planet Venus, and timed major attacks to specific celestial events. Modern scholars, including epigrapher Simon Martin, have found this pattern recorded again and again in carved inscriptions, so consistently that researchers now call this pattern of astronomically timed conflict Star War events. Your leaders believe the gods themselves are watching the timing of this battle. You believe it too. The march begins. Hundreds of warriors move together along the Saspa, sandals striking packed white limestone, feathered standards rising above the column like a slow-moving forest. You are not marching to wipe out an enemy city. That is a common misconception. Full-scale destruction was rare. Most Maya warfare aimed at something more specific, capturing enemy nobles alive, seizing tribute, and forcing a rival city to submit without becoming worthless as a future trading partner or vassal. A dead king could not pay taxes. A captured one could. By midday, the sun is unbearable. Sweat soaks through your cotton armor. Your throat burns with thirst, but you keep moving because falling behind in unfamiliar territory could mean death long before you reach any battlefield. You chew a handful of dried maize kernels as you walk, barely pausing. Somewhere ahead, scouts have already spotted enemy movement near a river crossing. The battle itself, when it comes, is fast and close. There is no long, organized clash of massed lines like you might picture from other ancient armies. Maya battles were often chaotic bursts of skirmishing, ambush, and hand-to-hand combat in broken jungle terrain, fought between smaller groups rather than tens of thousands at once. You raise your shield. An enemy warrior lunges with an obsidian-edged club of his own. The blade is thinner than paper at its edge, capable of slicing skin almost without resistance, and it can shatter into deadly fragments on impact. You block. The shock runs up your arm. You do not think. You react. Your goal is not necessarily to kill him. If you can, you try to strike him unconscious or wound him just enough to seize him. Stone lintels at the city of Yaxchilan show rulers standing triumphantly, overbound, kneeling captives, their arms tied above their heads. Capturing an enemy noble alive brought enormous glory and often decided the political fate of both cities involved. A captured king might be humiliated, forced into servitude, or in some cases, sacrificed in a public ritual meant to demonstrate the victor's power to the gods and to every watching citizen. This was not senseless cruelty by ancient standards. It was political theater tied directly to Maya religious belief about cosmic order recorded in sacred texts like the Popol Vuh. By late afternoon, it is over. Not a war that ends in a single day, but this fight does. Your side holds the field. A handful of enemy warriors are bound and march back toward your city as prisoners. You're exhausted in a way that goes past your muscles, into your bones. Your hands are shaking. You did not expect that. No one warned you how much fear costs, even after the danger has passed. The walk home along the Sakbi feels endless. Torches are lit as darkness falls, tiny points of orange light stretching back along the white road behind you. When you finally reach the plaza, the whole city is waiting. Drums, conch horns, the smell of copal thick in the night air. Your ruler stands atop the temple platform to receive the captives, and the crowd roars. You are alive. That is the only victory that matters to you tonight. Your wife finds you in the crowd. She does not ask what happened. She can see it on your face. At home, she washes the dried blood from your arm and feeds you a proper meal at last. Black beans, maize tamales, a bit of dried fish traded up from the coast. You eat in silence. Somewhere in the temple above the plaza, priests are already preparing rituals connected to the captives taken today. Rituals meant to honor the gods and secure your city's place in the world for the next Khatun, a roughly 20-year cycle by which Maya rulers measured and recorded time. You lie down on your mat as the fires outside burn low. Your body aches in places you did not know could ache, and yet, strangely, you feel something like peace. The archaeologist Michael D. Coe, one of the scholars who helped modern researchers finally understand Maya inscriptions, spent much of his career showing that Maya civilization was not a simple, isolated jungle culture, but a network of sophisticated, literate, mathematically advanced kingdoms locked in centuries of political struggle, not unlike the great rival powers of any other era in world history. Think about that the next time you watch two nations compete for influence today, through trade deals, sanctions, or shows of military strength rather than obsidian blades. The tools have changed completely. Diplomacy replaces the atlatl, economic pressure replaces the raid, but the underlying pattern, cities competing for resources, prestige, and survival, testing each other's strength before striking, still echoes something ancient in how power moves across a map. The conch shell will sound again one day, calling warriors to the plaza before sunrise. Maybe not this Khatun, maybe not the next, but somewhere, in a city not so different from yours, another warrior is grinding maize into a tole, checking his armor and waiting for the horn.